Welcome, dear student, in the second module of the United Nations. Before we begin with the module 2, let's have little knowledge that what we have studied in the module 1. So, let's get started. Children, before we begin with the module 2 of the given lesson, let's have recap that what we have studied in the module 1. As we all have studied that the United Nations is an international organization which was established to maintain peace and security at the international level. As we all are aware that two world wars were fought at the starting or at the beginning of 20th century, due to which the life and the property of a people were destroyed on a large scale. After the First World War, the League of Nations was established, and after the Second World War, the United Nations was formed. The Atlantic Treaty was signed between the Prime Minister of England and the President of America during the Second World War on the 14th August 1941. According to this treaty, a decision was taken to set up a permanent mechanism to establish international security after the Second World War was over. As soon as the war got over, the charter was signed on 24 October 1945. The United Nations is an international organization of sovereign nations. The main objectives of the UN, that is of United Nations, was to establish friendly relations among the nations, to enhance international security by solving international disputes, and to safeguard and to foster human rights and freedom. We also have studied about the principles of the UN. So the principles of the UN is that all member nations will have the same status in the society. There should be no discrimination among the nations based on the geographical size, economic structure, or the military power. All member nations of the UN nation should respect the freedom and the geographical unity of other member nations. All member nations should solve the disputes and should have mutual understanding between one and the other. We have also studied the structure of the United Nations. So, the structure of the United Nations has 6 main organs, that is the General Assembly, Security Council, Economic and the Social Council, International Court of Justice, Trusteeship Council, and the Secretariat. We have also studied about the different organizations such as UNICEF and UNESCO. So, as we all know that UNICEF is an organization, affiliated organization of UN. It works towards making nutritious food and health care for children. UNESCO is also another affiliated organization of UN which work towards the peace and security in the world by promoting cooperation between member countries in the field of education, science and culture. So let us begin with the module 2 of the given lesson, that is United Nations. So children, let's get started. So in the module 2, we are going to study about the structure of the UN, that is the different organs of the UN. So as the UN have 6 different organs such as General Assembly, Security Council, Economic and Social Council, International Court of Justice, Trusteeship Council and Secretariat. General Assembly. All the country members are the members of General Assembly. The position and the structure or the status of all the countries, whether they are poor, rich, big or small, is same in the General Assembly. Every year, the General Assembly meets in its session from the month of September to the month of December. During this session, the General Assembly discusses important issues like environment, disarmament, and many more. The decisions in the General Assembly are taken by majority. These decisions are in the form of resolutions. Thus, the General Assembly only passes resolution, it does not make law. Children, how in the Indian Parliament we are having different law as well as different bills. But in the General Assembly related to the UN, we are not having the law, but we are having a resolutions. The significance of the General Assembly lies in being a platform for representatives of member nations to come together and discuss and make policy decisions on issues of global importance. Let us move further. Functions of the General Assembly. To elect the non-permanent member of the Security Council. Next one, to choose the United Nations Secretary General and the Judge of the International Court of Justice in the consultation with the Security Council. The pass of the annual budget is done under the General Assembly of the UN. Security Council. Security Council is one of the 6 main organs of the United Nations. There are 15 members in the Security Council. From them, 5 are permanent members, whereas 10 are non-permanent members. The non-permanent members are chosen after every 2 years by the General Assembly. America, Russia, England, France and China are the permanent members of the United Nations. They have the veto power. For any decisions to be taken, the assent of all the 5 members and 4 non-permanent members are necessary. If even one of the 5 permanent members use his veto power, that is, give a negative vote, the decisions cannot be taken. Now, let us study the functions of the Security Council. So, the main function of the Security Council is it has a main responsibility to maintain international peace and security in the country. The Security Council may suggest one among the following alternatives in situation of international conflict, such as end or to resolve conflict and to make efforts to establish peace in the country. It also impose economic sanctions or take a decisions of military action against the aggressor nation. It also functions in preparing policies for armed control. Security Council play a joint role along with the General Assembly in appointment of the judges in the International Court of Justice and the United Nations Secretary General. India is making great effort to get the permanent member of the Security Council. Let us move to the third structure of the UN, that is Economic and the Social Council. The main objective of this organization is to coordinate the economic and the social policies of the United Nations. The Council has 54 members. They are selected by the General Assembly. Each member has a tenure of 3 years, and each year one-third of the members are newly chosen. Decisions are taken by majority vote. Let us understand the function of the Economic and the Social Council. So the function of the Economic and the Social Council is it initiates discussions at the global level on the issues like poverty, unemployment, economic and social inequality. It also suggests policies to tackle these problems. Economic and the Social Council discuss issues like women's questions, empowerment of women, human rights, fundamental freedom, global trade, health related issues, and many more. Economic and the Social Council make efforts to establish cultural and the educational cooperation at the international level. Coordinating the functioning of different organizations working in the association with the United Nations. Let us understand the fourth structure of the UN, that is Secretariat. The Secretariat has the responsibility of carrying out administration tasks of the UN. All the administrative related work are going to be carried out by the Secretariat General. The chief of the Secretariat is the Secretary General. He is selected by the General Assembly and the Security Council. The tenure of the Secretariat is for 5 years. The current Secretary General of the UN is Antonio Guterres. Antonio Guterres is a Portuguese politician serving as the ninth Secretary General of the UN, that is of United Nations. A member of the Portuguese Socialist Party, he served as Prime Minister of Portugal from year 1995 to the year 2002. Guterres served as Secretary General of the Socialist Party from the year 1992 to 2002. Let us understand the function of the Secretariat. Let us understand the functions of the Secretariat. So, the Secretariat call international conferences to discuss the issues like global problems related to climate changes, human rights, disarmament, and many more. It also organizes the meeting of General Assemblies and Security Council. Secretariat compile informations. It also supply information to the media. Let us move to the next structure of the UN, that is International Court of Justice. The next structure of the UN is the International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice means it is a judicial branch of the UN. The International Court of Justice, it is located at The Hague in the Netherlands. In this court, there are 15 judges. They are chosen by the General Assembly and by the Security Council. Each judge in this court has a tenure of 9 years. Let us see the function of the International Court of Justice. So the function of the International Court of Justice is to settle the disputes between two or more member nations of the UN. It also interrupt or interpreted international law authentically. The International Court of Justice advise the various organs or the subsidiary bodies of the United Nations about the legal issues. Let us move to the next structure, that is the Trusteeship Council. The International Criminal Court. The International Criminal Court is an intergovernmental organization, an international tribunal that sits in The Hague at Netherlands. The International Criminal Court is the first and the only permanent international court with jurisdiction to prosecute individuals for the international crimes of genocides, crime against humanity, war crimes, and the crime of aggression. The word genocides means massacre. It is intended to complement existing national judicial systems, and it may therefore exercise its jurisdiction only when the national courts are unwilling or unable to prosecute criminals. The International Court of the International Criminal Court lacks universal territorial jurisdiction and may only investigate and prosecute crimes committed within member states, crime committed by national of member states, or crime in situations referred to the court by the United Nations Security Council. The Trusteeship Council. The Trusteeship Council is one of the main organs of the UN. It was established to supervise the administration of trust territories as they transitioned from colonies to sovereign nations. The Council suspended its activities in year 1994 when Palau, the last of the original 11 trust territories, gained its independence. The Trusteeship Council is made up of 5 permanent members of the Security Council, that is China, France, the Russian Federation, the United Kingdom, and the United States. After the Second World War, the territories that were underdeveloped were placed under the responsibility of the developed nations. The latter were supposed to help bring about the development of the trust territories, and once they attained independence from their colonies, they helped establishing democracy. The work of the Trusteeship Council is over as there are no trust territories left. The work of the Trusteeship Council ended when Palau got independence on 1st November in 1994. Palau is an island in the Pacific Ocean to the eastern of Philippines. Millennium Development Goals. The UN came together in the year 2000 and they decided upon the development goals for the new millennium, that is for the year 2000. Some of the important goals that were discussed or that were planned at this particular millennium year were to eliminate the poverty and hunger, to make the facilities of primary education, to bring about women's empowerment, to reduce infant mortality rate, to establish special care for the health of pregnant women, to fight diseases like AIDS, malaria, and many more, to protect the environment, and to increase the cooperation between the developed and developing countries. A time period has been decided to achieve these goals, as India has made a considerable progress in the direction of achieving the Millennium Development Goal with the help of UNICEF and UNESCO. United Nations and preservation of peace. Children, as we all have studied that the United Nations was created in the year 1945, that is after the end of the Second World War, with one central mission, that is to maintain the international peace and security. The United Nations was accomplishes this by working to prevent conflict, helping parties in conflict make peace, deploying peacekeepers, and creating the conditions to allow peace to hold and flourish. These activities often overlap and should reinforce one another to be effective. The United Nations Security Council has a primary responsibility for international peace and security. The General Assembly and the Secretariat General play major, important, and complementary role along with the UN offices and the bodies. The objectives of the UN, that is United Nations, is to settle international conflict as in a peaceful manner. The United Nations Charter lays down the way and means to be employed to achieve this goal. It includes appointing an intermediary acceptable to the nations involved in the conflict by the way of legal procedure, appointing an arbiter to solve the dispute, and to take recourse to military means and to ensure that conflict will not occur again. In modern time, human security has been threatened by terrorism, racism, and regional conflicts. As a result, the function of securing peace of the United Nations has acquired a lot of importance. The United Nations make efforts to ensure that violence does not erupt the strife-prone area and normalcy is resorted as soon as possible by, for example, starting school, creating awareness among the people about the human rights, making social, economic, political facilities available, conducting elections, and establishing peace. Let us move to the next topic, that is peacekeeping force of the UN, that is of the United Nations. United Nations peacekeeping. Peacekeeping by the United Nations is a role held by the Department of Peace Operations as a unique and dynamic instrument developed by the organization as a way to help countries torn by conflict to create the condition of lasting peace. It is distinguished from peace building, peacemaking, and peace enforcement. Although the United Nations does acknowledge that all the activities are mutually reinforcing and that overlapping between them infrequent in practice. The peacekeeping force help these areas to progress toward peace. The peacekeeping activities of United Nations involve creating appropriate circumstances favorable for bringing about permanent peace in the strife-torn areas. In conflict-ridden areas, security is provided and at the same time help is extended for establishing peace. The United Nations take peacekeeping as one of the tasks for safeguarding and fostering peace in the world. The following are the certain activities supplemented by the peacekeeping forces, such as prevention of conflict and mediations, actual established peace, implement the measures of protecting peace and peace building. The United Nations and India. India was among the original members of the United Nations that signed the declaration by the United Nations at Washington on 1st January 1942. India also participated in the United Nations conferences on international organization at San Francisco from 25th April to 26 June 1945. As a founding member of the United Nations, India strongly supports the purposes and the principles of UN and has made significant contribution in implementing the goal of Charter and the evolution of United Nations specialized programs and agencies. As India is a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for 8 terms, with the most recent being for the year 2022. India is a charter member of United Nations and participated in all of its specialized agencies and organizations. India has participated in the different conferences that were held before the establishment of United Nations. India has participated in bringing issues like decolonization, disarmament, racial segregation on the United Nations platform. In the year 1946, India was the first country to raise the question of racism in the United Nations. India has always led the discussion about the problems of underdeveloped and developing countries. India has always sent her troops to participate in the United Nations peacekeeping forces. Not just that, India has sent an all-women peacekeeping forces as well. It is evidence from the foregoing analysis that India makes serious efforts to solve international conflict by peaceful means. Children, let us come to the evaluation part of the given module. So the question number 1 is complete the following chart. So the first column is about the organ, that is about the organization or about the structure. Then the number of members in a structure as well as their functions. So the first one that we have, that is United Nations General Assembly. So children, as we all have studied that the total number of members in the General Assembly are 193. Their functions are to elect the non-permanent member of the Security Council, to choose the United Nations Secretary General and judges of the International Court of Justice in the consultation with the Security Council. It also functions in passing the annual budget of the United Nations. Let us come to the next organization, next structure or the next organ, that is UN Security Council. So as we all have studied that total number of members in the Security Council is 15. From that 5 are the permanent members and 10 are the non-permanent members. Their functions are to maintain international peace and security, to prepare policies for armed control, to play a role along with the General Assembly in the appointment of judges of the International Court of Justice and of the United Nations Security Council. Let us move to the third one, that is International Court of Justice. So the total number of members or the total number of judges in the International Court is 15 judges. Their functions are to settle the disputes between two or the more member nations of the UN, to interpret international law authentically, to advise the various organs or the subsidiary bodies of the United Nations about the legal issues. Let us come to the last organ, that is Economic and the Social Council. So the total number of members in the Economic and the Social Council are 54 members, and their functions are they initiate discussions at the global level on the issues like poverty, unemployment, economic and the social inequality. They also discuss issues like women questions, empowerment of women, human rights, fundamental freedom, global trade, health related issues. They also take efforts to establish cultural and education cooperation at the international level. They also coordinate the functioning of the different organizations working in association with the United Nations. Let's move to number 2, that is explain the following concept. The first one is veto. So as we all have studied that the veto power is which is there in the hands of the permanent member of the Security Council. As we all have studied that Security Council have 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. From any decisions to be taken, the asset of permanent members and non-permanent members are necessary. So the permanent members in the Security Councils are America, Russia, England, France, China, whereas they are having the veto power with them. If any one of the permanent 5 members use his veto power, that is, he gives a negative vote, the decision cannot be taken in the Security Council. Let us move to the next concept, that is UNICEF. So as we all have studied that UNICEF is an affiliated organization of the United Nations. It works towards making nutritional foods and health care available to the children. Several workshops were organized in India to find the measures to overcome the malnutrition among the babies and the children. Let us come to the next concept, that is UNESCO. UNESCO is also an affiliated organization of the UN which works towards the peace and the security in the world by promoting cooperation between member countries in the field of education, science and culture. Let us move to the next question, that is question number 3. Explain with reason whether the following statements are true or false. First one, a resolution can be passed even if China exercises its veto power. So the following statement is false. As we all know that China is one of the 5 permanent members of UN and the permanent member has a veto power. If even one of the 5 members uses his veto power, that is his negative vote, the decision cannot be taken. Let's move to the next question, that is India has played a major role in the work of United Nations. So the given statement is true. India has always sent her troops to participate in the United Nations peacekeeping forces. India has participated in bringing issues like decolonization, disarmament, racial segregation on the United Nations platform. So children, with this we have ended our this chapter. In case of any doubt, read the textbook thoroughly. Thank you my dear student for listening me patiently. To know more about the lesson, read the textbook thoroughly and watch the video carefully. We will meet again in the next video. Till then, live safely, live happily.